Bless your hearts. Just to start off, I'm not quite sure why I'm here. I guess in the back of my mind, there was a spot for the Country Music Hall of Fame, but I didn't dwell on it because I didn't want to be disappointed. But time went by and time went by. All of my friends were inducted, and it dawned on me that all the people, almost 98% of the people in the Country Music Hall of Fame, I knew. And I think what happened was I lasted long enough till they run out. And I couldn't listen, I couldn't hear what Carl was saying. So I don't know if I'm going to repeat anything that he may have brought up. There's a lot of things that he and I were involved in that neither one of us will bring up. But they make for great memories. And I was just reminded that one of the greatest gifts that we have are our memories. There was a place up in Indiana, northern Indiana, called Buck Lake Ranch. Some of you folks played Buck Lake Ranch. You remember that it was an amphitheater of such that was made out of rough-hewn logs, and the sap and the rosin leaked out from the heat. And if you touched it, you couldn't get off of it. We did 3 shows a day, and that was the longest day in life. You did one at like 1 o'clock, one at 4 o'clock, and then one later, if you lasted. The top of your feet is what got you. The sun was up here, it just burnt you to pieces. Well, I had a rent-a-car, and and the other part of it was they would stage these Western gun battles down on behind the stage in between shows. And they had stagecoaches who give people rides and things. So it was a big family affair. So I was up on stage doing my little show, and Carl was going to ride back to Chicago and catch an airplane, and I told him that I would be more than happy to go with him. I had to return the car anyway. So I'm just getting into my routine on stage when I hear this voice in the back say, "It's time to go, Clark." And I looked, and it's Carl back there, just with that smile he is. And so I played a little bit longer. He said, "Got a plane to catch, Clark." Okay. And the next thing you know, he had gone down and got one of those cap and ball pistols that they used in the gunfight scenes. And if you know how loud they are on an enclosed stage, scared me to death. But I still carried on. I was a trooper. When the ringing stopped in my ears, I kept playing. And doing pretty good, too, under the circumstances. And all of a sudden, from around behind me comes this arm with a wire cutter on it. And he just reaches the first string on my guitar and says, "Pop!" He said, "It's time to go to the airport." I retuned what was left of my guitar and was just about to settle into a halfway decent show, and here comes the arm again. Pop! Another string. I didn't give up. I didn't give up until he went through 5 of the strings of my guitar, and finally he got to the big E string, and when he popped it, the bridge flew out in the audience, and my show was complete. But only Carl Smith could and would and could get away with something like that. But there's so many dear friends that are members of the Country Music Hall of Fame that it makes me so proud that somehow, some way, that you have found fit for me to become part of this fraternity.